Now on Broadway, An Enemy of the People is a New York Times Critics' Pick. Jeremy Strong is one of the great actors of his generation, hails the Chicago Tribune. In a performance the Wall Street Journal praises as powerfully affecting and bitterly funny. Michael Imperioli sets off sparks, cheers The Hollywood Reporter. Victoria Pedretti is luminous, raves variety. From director Sam Gold and playwright Amy Herzog, An Enemy of the People is urgent, electrifying, and haunting, declares USA Today. An Enemy of the People, on Broadway through June 16th only.
On today's Smart 7, America basks in solar eclipse, the post office inquiry resumes, and lots more. It's Tuesday 9th of April, it's Unicorn Day, and happy birthday, Little Nas X.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Peace talks continued in Qatar on Monday, attended by delegations from Hamas, Israel and the US. A Hamas spokesman said no progress had been made, but there have been some signs that a breakthrough might be coming closer. Meanwhile, after the pullout of IDF troops from Khan Yunis, Palestinians began to return to a city that some described as looking like an earthquake hit it. Following the killing of 7 charity workers last week, pressure has continued on the UK government over its arms sales to Israel. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer says it's time to see what the legal advice actually says.
There's a legal test for when sales should be suspended. The government's got advice on that. And so what the government should do is to publish that legal advice, or at least a summary of it, to publish that so we can all see it, and the appropriate action can then be taken in relation to the sale of arms.
UK Foreign Secretary Lord David Cameron is in Washington for meetings on Tuesday and is expected to lay out the rationale for the UK's continuing arms sales to Israel. But Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, Mel Stride, says there is nothing to suggest that there needs to be a change in policy at this time.
The current position is that there should be no change at this particular moment in time to the licensing arrangements. And as I say, in fact, it's an Act of Parliament from 2002 that sets out that process. And I'm very confident that we are following it to the letter.
The Post Office Horizon inquiry is set to resume on Tuesday, with testimony from the man at the centre of the ITV drama, Sub-Postmaster Alan Bates. The inquiry has been running since 2020 under retired Judge Sir Win Williams, and this next phase is due to interview senior figures from the Post Office, including former CEO Paula Venables and senior executives from IT provider Fujitsu. In advance of the hearing, Alan Bates made an appearance on a BBC breakfast special, and he says that the campaign he spearheaded will keep going until people are held accountable and action is taken.
There's huge bonuses have been paid to people over the years. Some of that should be clawed back.
Post Office Minister Kevin Hollinrake wasn't holding back either, admitting that the government had been too slow to provide compensation and that they needed to accelerate the process. He also took a tough line on the consequences that should follow the results of the inquiry.
Well, evidence has been established and people should be prosecuted. That's my view. People who are within the Post Office and possibly further afield should go to jail.
The Reform Party held a Westminster press conference on Monday, which was intended to showcase their new policy proposal, which would see net zero targets scrapped and the money put into the NHS. The proposal immediately attracted criticism from all sides, including queries about the maths they used to devise it. The press conference also turned awkward as leader Richard Tice admitted they've had to deselect 10 local election candidates for racist, homophobic or sexist comments on social media. Bizarrely, they haven't dropped former Conservative Party Deputy Chairman and new Reform UK recruit Lee Anderson, who managed to turn a question on Romani gypsies into a racist rant about the travelling community at the same press conference.
They haven't got the Romanis, and they've got this travelling community who were just thieves, vagabonds, and ruining my entire village, and I will do it again.
That was an excited TV presenter live from Texas as the solar eclipse reached its full totality. Millions of Americans gathered along the path of the last total eclipse, visible in the US until 2040, and there seemed to be a huge party atmosphere amongst those who turned up. Fox News and conspiracy theorists had tried hard to hype up disasters and potential civil unrest, but the event passed off peacefully. NASA used the eclipse to carry out various experiments, including firing rockets into the moon's shadow to see how the Earth's atmosphere was affected by the event. The UK didn't get to see much because of clouds and the angle of the Earth, but Robert Massey of the Royal Astronomical Society says you do still have eclipse options.
We won't get one here again until 2081 in the Channel Islands, 2090 on the mainland. But If you travel a little bit, there's more of a chance because they're about every 18 months or so somewhere on Earth. So the next European chance is in 2026 in August when it goes through northern Spain and a bit of Portugal. And I think there'll be a lot of interest in that.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, the Champions League quarter-finals get underway and Jordan North figures out his alarm clock. Right after this.
Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening is available on Amazon Music for all the music plus top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy by downloading the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/news ad free. That's amazon.com/news ad free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Welcome back. The Champions League quarter-finals get underway on Tuesday night with Manchester City and Arsenal both in action. City travel to Spain to face Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid, while Arsenal are at home to Bayern Munich. It's Arsenal's first quarter-finals since 2010, but they're facing a German side that has struggled under manager Thomas Tuchel this season. The game also sees Harry Kane return to North London, and Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is looking forward to the challenge.
This is where we want to be. We're in a really good position in the Premier League, and we're in a really good position in the Champions League. We have a big task ahead of us against one of the most successful teams in Europe, and that's the hurdle that we have to overcome, and we are really looking forward to it.
If you're a breakfast radio fan, you may have noticed a bit of chopping and changing going on at Capital Radio. Roman Kemp quit the breakfast show about 6 weeks ago, which sparked off a merry-go-round of movement between Radio 1 and Capital. Jordan North then moved from Radio 1 Drive Time, which saw posh podcaster Jamie Lang jump into the driving seat at the nation's favourite. Now, Jordan's finally got his alarm clock figured out, and Monday was his first day on Capital Breakfast, which he started in his typical style.
And welcome! I hardly slept a wink last night, and I couldn't keep still yesterday. I cleaned out every one of my kitchen drawers, every one of them. Then I bleached my bathroom. Then I did my kitchen drawers again. But I am here for it. I am so excited to be starting this new chapter on the fantastic Capital Breakfast Show.
The day of a solar eclipse seems like the perfect marketing moment to drop a trailer for a new movie called Fly Me to the Moon. It's a new rom-com starring and produced by Scarlett Johansson alongside Channing Tatum, Ray Romano and Woody Harrelson. It's set behind the scenes of the space race back in the 1960s and is due to hit cinemas on July 12th.
NASA needs a marketing specialist, and you are the very best.
Excuse me? What are you doing here?
I tracked you down because I felt we had a connection.
What?
I'm joking. I work here now to sell the moon.
We need to shoot the backup version of the moon landing.
You mean to fake it? No one can ever know what we're doing.
I cannot accept that.
They will shoot you.
What is my budget? Oh, boy.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
When you make decisions for your company, you look for the no-brainers. If you have a lot of mailing to do, Stamps.com is the ultimate no-brainer. Use the Stamps.com mobile app to mail everything you need to keep your business running with up to 89% off USPS and UPS. Make the same no-brainer decision as over 1 million other businesses with Stamps.com. Use code PROGRAM for a special offer. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.